Well, cut it really close, woman.
Well, I will tell you, we worked very hard.
What day of the week was this?
Saturday. Yeah. Yeah.
An hour and 5-minute drive on a Saturday, and you buffered it with 0?
These are the plaintiffs, Catherine and Daniel. Catherine says she hired the defendant's company to provide a limo for their wedding day, and the guy never showed up at the agreed-upon time. She says they had to pile into their pastor's van because they were having their reception on a boat and the boat wasn't waiting. They ended up getting there an hour late. They missed their first dance. They missed their pictures during the daylight hours, and they're out $3,123.03, the exact amount they're suing for today. This is the defendant, Gary McKeon. He admits his driver misread the paperwork and was 45 minutes late for the pickup, and he refunded the plaintiffs the full amount for the limo ride. Then the plaintiffs told him they wanted to be paid $1,000 for their missed time at the wedding, and he was going to hand it over until they upped it up to $3,000 and threatened to go on social media to exploit him and purposely try to ruin his reputation. He's accused of being a little late.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, let me, first of all, congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
When was your wedding date?
September 28th.
Okay. So you had planned a wedding, and the wedding involved a ceremony?
Yes, correct, in Plantsville, Connecticut.
And then a 1-hour drive to the reception.
Yep, it was an hour and 5-minute.
An hour and 5-minute drive, assuming everything's okay, to the reception. And the reception was taking place on a sailboat?
It's a 110-foot sailing vessel, Mystic Whaler, berthed in New London, Connecticut.
Okay. And if everything had gone as planned, your wedding ceremony was supposed to end at what time?
The ceremony was ending at 1:30 about. We were doing pictures until 2:30 when...
The limo ride that you had reserved the defendants for a limo ride, and that limo ride was supposed to show up at what time?
At 2:30, and I have that in the contract.
Your sailing time was what?
At 4, from 4 to 7. We were expecting to get there contractually by like 3:30, 3:35, so that we would have approximately half hour to take pictures at the pier, coordinate with people who was going to be responsible for...
You cut it really close, woman.
Well, I will tell you, we worked very hard.
What day of the week was this?
Saturday. Yeah. Yeah.
An hour and 5-minute drive on a Saturday, and you buffered it with 0? All right, so what happens at 2:30, the limo's not there?
Yeah, it wasn't there, so we just gave it a few more minutes. 2:45, when it still wasn't, I went digging for my phone, and I saw a missed call at 2.
You really are relaxed. Okay, at 2:45, you see him.
Well, that's the thing. In the initial message they left, it just said that the chauffeur was running super behind.
Super?
That's all.
Who placed that call? Was that you?
I did.
Okay, and you left a message saying he's super behind? That's it?
Yes.
You didn't say he will be there at 3. He will be there at... You didn't say anything. You just said super behind.
Well, there was background to that as well. I mean, I'm a mom of 5 kids, and it was a weekend.
How could that possibly have background here?
Because I wasn't in the office, so...
Well, why isn't someone working who's tasked with making this phone call? I don't understand what you're saying.
As a general manager, the responsibility comes to me, and then I make those phone calls right away.
Okay, so I don't understand. Why aren't you leaving a message saying he is X time behind, he will be there at Y? Why aren't you leaving a specific message?
Because I was absolutely upset at the fact that my chauffeur was late to begin with, and then to hear the message that we were late for a bride on her wedding day, I was absolutely
Right. So
distraught.
one would think that that would propel you to understand how mad she's going to be and actually leave a message that says the time. So what do? Do you end up calling them?
I did. I called them and didn't get through. I got the series of prompts, and while I'm sitting on hold, she called me, so
Okay.
I was able to switch
So
over.
what time did she call you?
It was 2:47.
Okay.
And she told me that at that point that the driver wouldn't be there till 3:30.
So you bolted.
Everyone's
Well, of
gone.
course, you're not going to wait till 3:30 if you have a sale like this. So what did you do? You all piled into the pastor's car.
Well, that was the thing, is we had no options at that point. The
Right.
pastor wasn't even aware. He was off somewhere else. And so we're at the back of the church brainstorming what to do. And it wasn't until about 3:15, that she called back and said that she hadn't been able to find anybody. And so the pastor noticed that we were kind of agitated, trying to figure out what to do. And he came over, asked us what was going on. When we explained, he said he had an 8-person van that we could use to pile in.
Do you have any affidavits from the pastor? Or any of your bridesmaids, anybody who can testify that you actually didn't leave for your 4 o'clock wedding until 3:15?
I have the copy of the email I sent her.
That's after the fact.
Stephanie.
That's after the fact. I'm asking about.
Well, no, it says we got into the personal vehicle and we are on their way now because we didn't
Oh
want
yeah,
to wait.
let me see that. So that was like simultaneously with.
I was typing
in
that
real
up while I
time.
was in the
In real
car to
time.
let her know
Yeah,
that
no
we had
bride should
found
have
an
to do
alternative.
this on her wedding day. Please tell the chauffeur his services are no longer required at this point. She does send you that at 3:30.
And the frustrating part, Your Honor, is when I talked to her a couple days later after this all happened, she informed me that the chauffeur had to go to a garage to pick up the vehicle an hour before he was supposed to be there. And
The chauffeur. There is no question they're at fault. There is no question. They don't deny they're at fault.
no, yeah,
They know that
evidence
their
of that
guy misread it,
culpability.
did it. I hope you fired him because that's outrageous.
No, they told me he was somebody of 25 years.
Well, then maybe he's past his prime. I don't know. But how can you possibly risk having him be in charge of a bride again?
He's actually one of our top tier
That's
chauffeurs.
sad.
We are totally devastated about this, and
Are you? Because
yes, we
I'm
are.
not sure if you're still using him for other brides. I'm not sure you're devastated. Now let's talk about your lawsuit. So the first thing they do, obviously, is return your money because they didn't provide the service. All right. Then the next thing they do is you talk to them and you tell them. Well, first let me go back in time. You get there at what time?
4:40.
You get there at 4:40 instead of getting there at 3:30,
3:30,
which is what the time you thought you were going to get there. Okay, so what ends up happening? You get there at 4:40 and you are suing for $3,000. First, you discuss with them that you thought it was fair if they settle for $1,000 for ruining your wedding. You tell them, are you prepared to pay $1,000? Then at some point they offer you the $1,000. Then you say, you know what? That was before I thought it through. I didn't want 2/3 of a wedding. I wanted a full 3 hours of a wedding, and I now demand that you guys pay the $3,000.
In the conversations thereafter, I tried to explain, and I even put it succinctly in an email to them on October 2nd, that after going to the reception, as it turned out, it was, I don't know if I can give you this, but it's a before and after of the expectation of what we planned, the timeframes.
Tell me about it. I'd rather hear you testify about it.
Okay, how do we phrase this so well?
Here, give it to me. Forget it. I'll do
Yeah.
it.
I worked really hard on it.
I got it. There's nothing I love more than someone who works hard. I don't mean to. Oh, look at that. It's even on hard paper. So planned activity, 2:30, leave church in limo. Actual activity, waiting at church and brainstorming with bridal party how to get to boat. You expected at 3:45 to have the food delivered hot by La Cuisine and brought on board. Instead, you're still traveling. Still traveling. You had expected things to happen at 4 and 4 something, the bride and groom, the dance. So you didn't have your first dance you were going to have your first dance on the dock with the guests on the boat.
No, it was going to be on the boat while we were still docked. So
On the boat while you were still docked. And so,
not moving.
So that didn't happen. You departed the dock as soon as you got there because you had to.
Correct.
What did you guys do in the 2 hours? Because you're also suing for is you want to be reimbursed for 12 bottles of apple cider.
Right. for the
Because
toast.
you didn't get to.
do the toast.
Okay, but why didn't you do that? Why didn't you just do it?
Because
You forgot about it, is what you said in the caption to the bottle photo. We forgot about it in the rush. right?
Well, at that point, we forgot about it because we were so distracted trying to reheat all the food that it showed up at 3:45. By the time we got there at 5, it was cold. But because we had to reheat all the food and like the chicken was dry because it had to be reheated. Anybody knows you reheat chicken, it's drier.
Okay, who did the reheating?
It was a mix of the guests, like the crew, my mother-in-law, my mother.
See,
bridal party.
you know, there are so many ramifications to blowing this. It's not just, she wanted a 3-hour wedding, but it's not just that she got 2 out of the 3 hours. She didn't want a 2-hour wedding. And then there's this, you know. What do you think is fair? Did you discuss with her anything? What did you?
I personally have not had any conversations with the bride.
I mean, that alone tells me something. Are you the owner?
No, yes, I am.
Right. I mean, that
Yeah.
alone tells me something. When you got
After-
the lawsuit, you didn't call her and say, can we settle this?
Well, she offered, at one point, she said that, you know, she was going to damage her reputation on social media, and at that point,
Do you, let me see that. Did she send you
an
an email saying, I'm going to damage your
believe
your
so, right?
reputation on social media unless you pay me more? That doesn't sound like her.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Are weddings just too stressful?
I actually used to be a wedding planner.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so I would say yes.
Were you a good wedding planner?
I hope so.
Did you ever get sued?
No.
That's good.
Yes, that is good.
What were they pissed off about most?
A lot of times it would just be like the small things.
Like what?
Like timing wise, things would be a little messed up because the bride didn't want
I would think it would be food.
The food is usually pretty good. Depends on the caterer.
What do you say?
Well, actually, my mom, she may have actually, whenever she did her wedding, she had a divorce. So, like, she did all that stressfulness and went through all that because she was really into her wedding and wanted it to be perfect.
She got divorced because of the wedding?
Divorce. Yeah.
What a waste of money, man.
It was a waste of money.
Yeah, she could have bought a condo for that.
Exactly.
Right, going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, if you read the whole context of that.
I am. That's my
Yeah.
plan. That's why I asked for the whole thing. Because I read some of your emails and they were incredibly
even,
polite under the circumstances.
Even at the point where
Thank you for, stop talking over me. Thank you for the response. I can appreciate you feel efforts have been made to balance business aspects and the need to resolve the situation. Unfortunately, my initial comment about 1,000 isn't accurate.
Congrats.
It became abundantly clear that the ripple effect, and I agree with you, of the bridal party's late arrival by an hour was irreparably significant. However, if you would like to avoid court and negative reviews, that's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, but she has an absolute right to give you negative reviews.
Absolutely.
I would give you the negative reviews. You guys didn't show up for a bridal's wedding and ruined her wedding. So, I mean, hopefully it didn't ruin your wedding. Hopefully you found joy in your wedding. Hopefully, you're right. You know, I mean, hopefully, because let me tell you that marriage becomes so much harder than this, okay, as someone who's been married for 26 years. So you gotta go with the flow. You gotta go with the flow. And I'm sure everybody who was there loved you and everybody was happy to be there. And I'm sorry that it didn't work out as planned. But why is that somehow nasty? That's not like blackmail. That's not blackmail. You made it sound like it was blackmail. It's just like, yeah, you want to avoid, you know, court and negative reviews. I think that the appropriate amount's $2,000. You disagreed. That's why we're in court.
Yes.
So now, what is the appropriate amount? You think it's just $1,000? I'm not sure that it's just $1,000. If I were you, in an effort of goodwill, I've been in business 25 years. A customer's always right. I can't believe we ruined her wedding. I would have offered her $2,000, but you guys chose instead to go to court. So now it's really up to me, isn't it? You caused her to miss a third of her wedding. Miss a third of her wedding. And then because they're in charge of their own food, that is happening. Things are having to be reheated. People are scrambling, trying to, you know, do the things that they weren't able to do beforehand. Reheating food dries it out. You know, there's a certain amount of human cost to that, you know? I'm ordering you to pay the bride $3,000. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So the limo company is found at fault and they get hit with a $3,000 judgment. You smiled all the way through. You're still kind of smiling now. What are you thinking?
Well, like we said before, we are deeply saddened by what we did.
Yeah.
We take great pride in everything that we do. And if this is what the bride and groom were looking for, and they rightly deserve something, then by all means, it was the right judgment.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sorry, maybe next time you'll make sure your driver's on time,
We'll
right?
see what happens.
Okay, good luck to you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, Catherine and Daniel are on the way out of the courtroom now. How you feeling? You feeling good?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Did you think you'd get this kind of a judgment or not?
Well, I think both of us assumed that if the judge understood or could see where we were coming from and the ripple effect that
she sure
it
did.
caused, it was just, it ended up being a mess and we made the most of it, but it definitely was not what we paid
You
for.
spelled it out very carefully for her, which is very
tried.
good. Okay, well, congratulations. How's
Thank
married
you.
life?
It's good.
great.
It's good.
Good? Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Glad
so
you love. Okay, very good. Harvey?
Doug, I got to tell you, if you start messing with people on social media and defame them, they can sue you. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on their way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Janina Starr. She says the defendant's her uncle and he agreed to take over the car payments on a 2011 Audi A5, which was in her name, so he could have a car to drive. But once he got the car, he stopped paying because he got in over his head. She was forced to make the payments. She was forced to pay storage on the car. And now she's got no other choice but to sue her dear uncle for the $3,310.78 she's owed. This is the defendant, Richard Starr. He says his niece told him the car was in good running condition and that she was up to date on the monthly payments. Well, she was 1 month behind on the payments. The car was not in good working order and it needed new tires and rims to boot. He couldn't drive it in that condition and found out it needs $1,200 worth of work. He certainly doesn't owe the plaintiff any money, and she knows it because she took advantage of him. And you don't take advantage of family, plain and simple. He's accused of being naughty to a niece.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff is suing her uncle because she says he agreed to take over her Audi payments, but he took the car and paid nothing. The defendant says the plaintiff took advantage of him because the car was a mess. It's the case of your car is Audi duty.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Hi. This is your uncle, and according to you, he was the most prominent male figure in your life.
Yes.
Was. All right, so what happens? You end up putting a car and some ex-boyfriend's in your name that ex-boyfriend stopped paying or something. Bottom line is, however that worked, you had 2 cars, 2 car payments, and you can't afford to do both.
Actually, I had someone else paying on the car. They didn't want to do it anymore. So he came over my house and he heard that I had the car. So I said...
So you two agree that he's going to do it?
Yes.
Okay. When is he supposed to start taking over payments? What month?
When we had the conversation, it was around June. It was like at the beginning of June because I told him I don't know what's actually wrong with the car because it was...
Were you behind on... If it's already June, was a June payment paid?
I had $200 to pay left on it because the guy that had it was going to pay the $200. But he said, well, I can handle it.
So did the guy who have it pay $100 and something? Because your payments are $350 something.
Exactly. He paid $177. Then when he came and talked to me, it was the balance of $200.
All right. So far, so good. Is that true that in the beginning of June you said, I'll pay that $200 and I'll take the car?
Yes.
Had you test driven it to see if you liked it?
No, I didn't.
Why
I didn't
not?
even see it.
You hadn't seen it?
I hadn't seen the car or anything. I was just going by what she said, that the car was running.
All right. So what happens? You pick up the car when?
So I go over there. I was told that the car was running. We went to start the car up. It wouldn't start.
Why? Do you know?
When I took it to the dealership or the auto shop, they said that the key fob was messed up on it. It needed a battery, the battery for the battery, and then it was leaking oil from where the dipstick goes into the engine. It was leaking oil from there.
Okay, so they give you an estimate,
Yeah,
and the estimate is for how much?
It was $1,200.
Okay, and what do you say to the auto body shop? No, let me return the car to my niece?
No, I gave him $250.
So you wanted the job done?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have a friend at the body shop, right?
Yeah.
So now your friend fixes it, and what happens?
Well, I was trying to get caught up with the payments.
When you say caught up, what's due other than the $200?
Well, it's due, July's due.
Right.
And then August came around.
Oh, so now it's for 2 months. Where is that car? With your friend?
It's still in the shop.
Show me the receipt. Show me the estimate that they give you when you drop the car off.
Here it is, right here. Here it is.
Okay, and that's June 27th. Right.
Yeah.
So It's all this stuff needs to be done to it. It's going to be $1255.18 in stuff.
Ma'am, I have a different receipt.
Hold on one second. And you agree to that. You sign for that, and you say,
Right.
yeah, do it. So what went wrong? Why didn't you just...
I didn't have the money all at once because
So you leave the car there 2 months. It's not that they took 2 months to do it or diagnose
No,
it. They
no.
diagnose everything at once.
Right.
You agree to do the repairs, and then for 2 months you have no money?
no, I'm paying. I gave her for insurance on the car.
How much did you give her?
I gave her $200
Uh-huh.
for the insurance on the car. I gave her a payment. Then I gave her the
How much was the
$560.
payment?
It was that was the what was that? I gave her one payment in July. It had to have been
Do you have any proof of what you paid her?
only what she knows.
Do you
what I
have
paid
a
her.
receipt?
The receipt for the $560? Yeah.
Okay, let me see the receipt for the $560. Is that from her?
Yeah, she sent it back to me after it was paid, August 30th.
I'm confused. It's July. Do you know there's a problem? Do you know the car's at the shop? Do you know the work he's doing to it or no?
Ma'am, I back in June, I asked him, I said, if you can't take on it, don't take on it. Because it's an expensive car, it's an Audi. And he kept telling me that he can do it. Multiple days I called him, like, did you get the car looked at? Did you get the car looked at? He avoided me multiple times.
Okay, so it's July. Do you know where your car is?
No, I did not.
Did you ask him where your car was, or it didn't matter?
I just told him to make the payments on it.
Did he make the payment for July?
No, he did not.
Did he make the payment, the $200 payment for June?
No.
Right, so $200 is still owed on the car note, and he doesn't pay that.
No.
All right, so now it's August. Does he make the payment in August?
No.
So what are you doing or saying? Because your credit's being ruined by your uncle.
Exactly. And that was my talk with him, because I was going through my own personal things anyways. And I told him I was trying to move. I got kids. Like, I'm
And they're
trying to
doing
get
a
to
credit check, and now you got a
I can't
problem.
get nothing. And he said, well, baby, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to take care of it. Now, we went down there in August.
Who's we?
That's me and my best friend, Zor
Okay.
Pritchett. We went down there and we got the money from him. He gave me $560.
What was the $560?
That
for?
was towards the car payment. That's the
Okay,
only payment
hold
he
on.
made
Now
towards
that
the car.
$560 that he gave you was towards what months?
I don't know.
When did he give it? When did he give it to you?
August. I mean, he gave it to me August 30th.
All right. Now, when do you finally find out where your car is?
The day I just had enough.
And
Maybe
the day you had enough was when?
maybe September, October.
Well, you will
hold on.
know because
I got
you
it right
ended
here.
up picking up the car,
Yeah.
paying for the repairs, and paying for storage.
Yes.
So when did you do that?
I went there October 1st.
Show me the proof of your payment on. Show me the paperwork you got from the auto body repair place.
This is what I got from them. Oh,
So-
I'm gonna give you this because that's what I pay in the checks.
Give me everything you think I should see. Don't hold anything
It's the
back.
same paper.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but that's the original that I got from them.
Let's show me that document, whatever that is.
Same thing.
All right. So when you go there, what do they tell you, lady? We've had this car since the end of June, and you owe us storage fees.
Yes.
Okay. When you go there and they owe you, and you find out, oh my Lord, I've got to pay storage fees of $20 a day. What do you tell your uncle?
I text him and I asked him, why would he leave that car sitting there like that? He's not paying me. So I'm assuming you might be paying them. You ain't paying neither one of us.
Right.
So he basically said, forget it. You figure it out.
So
But-
show me then when you pick up the car from Target, because you now have the car again, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have somebody
Well,
else taking over the
No,
month?
actually, that car,
Got repoed?
no.
Go ahead.
Somebody hit the car while I was stopped at a light. So it got totaled. It
Oh,
was just-
that's good.
Yeah, it was definitely a great thing.
Okay.
I felt relieved.
All right, let's just put that to a side. So what's the total you paid? You paid how much for the repairs?
I gave you all my papers. I'm sorry.
$2,322.77?
Yes.
That's what you paid for repairs and storage?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you're suing for car payments during the time that you didn't have it.
Yes, because I ended up
What
paying
is the
those.
amounts that you're suing for? June, July? What are you suing for?
June, July, August, September.
Okay, that's 387. June, July, August, September times
4. 'Cause that's 4
4,
months.
but you got the car October 1st, so I've got to make an adjustment for that. All right, June, July, but you're also forgetting the 200.
Yeah, I definitely
So I'll
did,
figure
yeah.
that out. Hold on
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah.
So what you really should be suing for is June, July, and August plus 200 plus a prorated September to August 1st, which isn't much. So 387, hold on. Now, he had paid you 560 for something. So we subtract the 560 from that,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And that leaves 815 on top of the 2322.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 814, sorry. Tell me about those storage charges. Did you know they were going to be charging you storage?
It's a friend of mine, so when I explained to him the situation, he charged her the storage fees. Yeah.
You mean,
'Cause
did you tell him to charge her storage
No, I
fee?
didn't tell her. No. What happened was, see, I agreed to do this. I did not want to do this. What happened was I ran into some problems with some money. She know that whenever I do something with her, I've never.
I don't know what you're talking about. You gave the car to be, and you never paid anything other than $560. So your intentions don't make a difference.
What I'm saying is I gave him.
And you didn't pay for the repairs that you were supposed to.
I gave him $250 on the repairs.
I'm not. Yeah, you know what? I am giving you credit for the $560. I'd like to understand what you're getting. What you make that face for?
Because I gave her $250. I gave him $250 on the repairs. That tells
I'm sorry.
you what I was
Are
doing.
you saying you gave her more than $560?
I gave $250 on the repairs.
I want you to listen to me. Are you saying that in total you gave her more than $560?
Yeah, I gave her more than $560.
No problem. Did he give you more than $560?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm going to need you to prove what you're saying.
I can't prove what I'm saying.
Okay, then that's where we are. You can't get mad at me that you can't prove what you're saying.
I'm mad at her because she won't admit it.
Okay.
Yeah,
You think maybe she's mad at you?
So would you sue your uncle if your uncle stiffed you in a car loan?
Yeah, I would, because that's your car.
Well, that is your car, but it is also your uncle. What do you say?
Yeah, most definitely, because, people, I don't know.
Okay, well, most definitely. What do you say?
Yes, I will.
You would sue your uncle?
Yes.
Would you sue your father?
No, not my father, but my uncle, yes.
What if your father basically screwed you out at $3,300?
No, if he lived with me, no.
$10,000.
No.
$20,000.
No.
You know you're going to say uncle, right?
Uncle.
And then we'll sue your uncle. Going inside the courtroom.
In your answer to the complaint, you actually say that you tell your friend what she's done to you.
Yep.
And what? What happens?
I just explained to him because he wanted to know why she was coming up here to get the car if it was mine.
The only reason she was charged $1,700 in storage fees was because my friends owned the repair shop and I told them about the crap she was pulling, so they charged her a storage fee.
Exactly. She reported.
So they did that for you?
No, they didn't do it for me. He was going to waive the storage fee for me. But I explained to him what she said she was
You
going to
best go try to get that storage fee from him because she has a legitimate complaint against you for those storage fees she had to pay.
Well-
So that's bizarre.
Well-
What has this done to your relationship with your niece? She called you the man in my life who I was the closest to.
It's affected their relationship, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say.
But I mean, if you look at the way she handled it, the way she came at me with this, I was going to do it that weekend. I really was.
When, October?
No, September. September 20th.
September what?
September 20th was
September
the day.
20th. Let me tell you what that is. Too little, too late. No one believes you were going to do it because you hadn't done it since June 8th. So I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff for the amount that you put her in the hole of $3,136.77. Maybe your good friends will reimburse you that $1,700. That's my verdict.
So, Mr. Starr, the defendant's on his way out of the court. Didn't work too well for you, Mr. Starr. You got to give her more than $3,000 here. What are you thinking?
Pocket's going to be hurting.
Pocket's going to be hurting.
Yeah.
You know, the judge asked you about your relationship with her. Is it over? No, I mean, it's really hurt.
No, I mean, it's on her. Whatever, however she feels. She's the one with all of the texts and all the crazy talk. So, I'm just sitting back listening.
So it's up to her.
Yeah.
But you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You have to sign a few documents. Now, Miss Starr is on her way out of the courtroom. All right, you ended up pretty good. What an ordeal, though. Wow, you've been through a lot. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So what about your relationship with him now?
I don't have a relationship.
It's over?
I'm done.
You're done. That's a shame that it worked out like this.
Hey, win some, lose some.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
You must sign a few documents.
You know, I mean, Doug, sometimes you can look at a lawsuit as kind of a neutral third party trying to solve a dispute between two honest people. And somebody's right and somebody's wrong. It doesn't always have to ruin relationships. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Michael Bell. He says the defendant collected child support payments from him when the child in question was in jail, and she pocketed his money to benefit herself. That's right, the defendant scammed him out of $4,903.50, and he's here suing in the good name of justice, seeking just that today. This is the defendant, Viola Anderson. She says the plaintiff's a horrible guy, and she can't believe he's suing her in court today for payments he was told to make by the court who heard their case. She's pretty sure the judge is going to see through the plaintiff's lies, and she's going to walk out of here the victor today. She's accused of collecting what she doesn't deserve.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant collected child support from him when the kid was in jail and he shouldn't have to pay. It's a scam. But the defendant says the court ordered him to pay, so grow up. It's the case of you're very unsupportable.
Thank you, Douglas.
You have a minute.
All right, Mr. Bell, your late wife and the defendant were sisters, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now there's a nephew. It's your nephew.
No.
It was her nephew.
Yes.
But right, your nephew. And is it also your nephew?
Yes.
Okay, so it's another sibling's child. All right. At some point, you end up is it you and your late wife adopted the child?
Me and my late wife adopted a child according to the family agreement. My late wife came to me.
Did you legally adopt the
Yes.
child? Right.
Yes.
So it's not a family. I mean, yes. So they came up to you, and what were the circumstances that led to that adoption?
They just wanted to get him out of DCF's the
And
DCF
why was the
system.
child in? What was the circumstance with the child's own parents that they couldn't take care of?
I have no clue, Your Honor. I only
Never
deal
asked?
with. No.
Do you know?
Alcohol addiction.
Okay. All right. So you adopt the nephew at what age? What age is the nephew?
Around about maybe 2, 3.
Oh, just a baby.
Yeah.
All right. So you basically raised the child.
Basically, we sent them out south after we kept them for about a year or 2 years.
You kept him a year or 2 years,
Yes.
and then at 4 you sent him where?
To North Carolina.
Which is where you live?
Yes.
Okay, so you raised him from
Yes.
4 until what? Till today?
Now, yeah.
All right,
No,
now
no,
that child is turned 18. You're saying no?
No, she didn't.
Who did?
Ollie Anderson, her mother.
So, according to you, it's you, do you and your mother live together or no?
She lives next door to me.
Okay, so according to you, you raised him, and according to you, the next door neighbor, who happens to be the grandmother of the child, raised him. All right, I got it. But the child is raised basically in North Carolina.
Yeah, in North Carolina.
All right, at some point, you, because they had legally adopted him, seek child support from him. Is that correct?
When I went to Connecticut to probate court, yes, because he wasn't sending
Because
me.
there was a probate, and the probate was over your sister's estate.
No,
And
no.
what was the probate over?
The probate would terminate my my rights.
Terminating your rights to what?
My
Probate
parent-
is about somebody dying. You were in family court?
Yes, was I tried to terminate my
Why did you try to terminate your rights? Because you didn't want to pay child support?
No, it didn't have nothing about child support.
You're suing for child support payments over the course of 4 months.
Yes.
She started to get, she sued you to get child support starting in what year?
2018.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you get the idea to sue him for child support?
Because he wasn't sending any payments down through the whole duration of me
According
taking
to
care of
you,
the
you
child.
were in court for something else and he was nasty, and then a clerk told you, why don't you sue him for child support?
The probate court said.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Because he
All right.
admitted
So
that.
I don't know whether that's how it ended up or not, but the bottom line is that a judge declared, well, you're the parents, and yeah, you got to pay child support. So you paid how many payments of child support?
The payment I'm suing for is about.
No, I know what you're suing for. How many in total? If it started in 2018, what month in 2018 did it start?
My first check went out 4/3/2018.
Okay. Now, did he have a relationship with the child or not really?
No.
All right, so at some point during this continuum, the child ends up arrested, correct?
Correct.
And when was the child arrested? January?
I believe so.
What did he get arrested for?
Sexual battery or something.
But you called it statutory rape. Why are you calling it that?
I don't know. That's what he's saying it was, statutory.
Do you have any idea what the circumstances are or no?
Yes, statutory rape right now. He sex
Who was
offender.
was a person, how old? He's 17. How old
Well,
was?
he's 17 now, but when that happened.
He was 16 and the
that was doing. Well, he was arrested.
Whenever that happened, how old was the victim supposedly?
The victim, I think, was 14 or 15.
All right. So he gets arrested, and how many months does he spend in jail?
I'm not sure, a month or two. I'm not.
And then he
really
gets
sure.
out?
Yes.
And what is he doing now?
He's in school.
Okay.
And he's going to therapists.
Okay. Now, these child support payments that you are suing for January through April is because you find out that he was in jail January through April. Did you ever go to the court that ordered you to do child support?
Yes, I went there. I showed
And
him.
say to them, look, I shouldn't have to pay. He was in custody. Why do I have to pay these months? And what did they say?
They just told me I had to take it to court. They told me I had to sit in front of the judge. They
But
said,
you had a hearing set, and according to the court files, you didn't show up for the hearing.
I was at the hearing. I was in it. They just say I was in the wrong courtroom. The courtroom is like right around the corner.
So that's
We
what
were sitting
happened? Like they
outside.
heard it?
Yes, and I went in there and they told me
And
no.
they wouldn't do it?
They wouldn't do it.
Right. And then
And that
he
was-
turns 18,
Term-
so
18,
it gets
30
terminated.
days later.
Right. So, but what you needed to do was bring that up with child support in between that time. I mean, you needed
Yeah,
to
but
get...
they told me I can only sue her. Just sue her. That's what they said. They said they're
Yeah.
not going to do anything.
So, do you have to pay child support if the kid's in jail? Would I have to pay you child support?
I guess no. I'm not sure.
What do you say?
I don't think that it'd be fair for you to pay child support on a kid that's not here.
Okay, sir.
I think they should pay child support.
Even the kids in jail?
Yes, because they still need money on their books at jail.
Well, okay, but is the money really going to him, going inside the courtroom?
The idea that you could sue in small claims for a child support issue is not the way to go.
Okay.
Because it's a child support court, the family court, that makes these decisions. But I got to tell you also, maybe in this case it would be different because of what you described. But why didn't you just move to have that judge reconsider, what they dismissed because you weren't in the right courtroom?
Yeah. It was only 30 more days after that.
I know, but that's the court that can handle this.
Oh, okay.
You got to bring that up in front of them because they're equipped. They know what happened before and after, as opposed to this court that is just hearing what you're saying. So really, I'm going to have to send you back there. Now, I don't know. There may be a complication now, which is that you've already terminated it, so I'm not even sure they'd still have...
No, I didn't terminate. No.
They terminated it.
Oh, yes.
Are you still paying child support?
Oh, no, they terminated the child support.
Right.
Yes.
So they may or may not take jurisdiction of the case.
Okay.
I have to imagine that they should because what you would file on would be something that happened when it was under their watch.
Yes.
I'm going to dismiss this without prejudice to you bringing it up again. In your state, it's called probate court. That's why I was thrown off. The family court.
Oh, go to the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, what a mess. Yeah. Is he doing better at least?
No.
Yes.
If you look, the boy been in and out of jail since 2018. Every other month he in and out of jail. So how
This is why you needed to be there, and that you filed a motion for modification, and then they say you didn't come. You say I was in the wrong courthouse, but whatever. That's the day it needed to be argued. But you're going to have to take that back. You can't ask me to modify another judge's order. They're the person who knows, the circumstances, handled the case for a year and something, and you got to bring it up over there. All right. So I'm going to dismiss it without prejudice to you bringing it up over there. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So as you heard, the judge has dismissed the case, so there has been no judgment entered, so you don't walk out with a judgment. You got to go back to another court.
Yes.
You got it?
Yeah, and we will.
We will.
And you will do that?
Yeah.
And you've had very little contact with
But
him,
it's-
apparently, huh?
But it's okay because at least everybody knows that she's a liar She lies. She
Everything
lies.
she
and
lied about, she just
every
lied.
court let her get away with a lie.
Everybody.
But that's okay. It's
DCF,
going to come back to you.
the attorneys, everybody.
It's
Nobody
gonna- it's
did their
gonna come
job.
back
They
to
would have
you.
did their job. They would have known they in jail. And the judge would have known that when I was trying to terminate my parental rights.
She collecting Social Security.
All righty. You must sign some documents. Ms. Anderson, you okay?
He's a monster. That's all I have to say. He's a monster.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Child support is not retroactive. You could sue. You could go back to court for future payments, but if you've got payments, you're on the hook.